Hello, Sean. This will be some video feedback for you on milestone one. And if I miss something or if you have supplied me with something that I haven't opened up, let me know and I'll try to address that or readdress that. I hope you're well and look forward to seeing what you do for your animation. Sean, you've figured out several things, I think, in your Illustrator file. One of them is to embed, how to embed images. It looks, however, that you've got all of them on the same layer. You know, it might be better if you could separate them out, or maybe you have. Let's just see. Oh yeah, you have. So I can turn them on or off individually. Nice job of that. Looks like you have the correct Amethyst Bay vector logo. It is vector, right? Or it looks like it might be pixelated. Let's see. Is it pixelated? You know that you can select the Amethyst Bay logo from the corporate style guide. Let me show you how that's done. Sean, I've opened up the Amethyst Bay style guide. It's a PDF, but I can open it in Illustrator. Then I've used the direct select tool to select it. I'll copy it to the clipboard. Now, when I attempt to do that, I get this error message that says that this is an RGB working space. We haven't talked too much about color spaces, but just know that print color space is CMYK, and that's probably what your print ad should be set in, whereas the web color space or the screen color space is RGB. I'm just going to go ahead and say work in the RGB space, although it should be CMYK. And there it is. There's the logo. It's transparent. It won't be pixelated. You can scale it up or down pretty much infinitely without any degradation in quality. And so here on the pixelated logo, which I think is what you've got going on there, if I compare it to the vector logo, you'll see that there are none of this white stuff here. So let me compare those two. See how much crisper the vector logo is than this? You see these little white pixels that crept in there? Anyway, that's how you would do it and keep a vector-based logo. I'm assuming that this is the live area, the 8 by 10 dimensions, and it's good that you have allowed for a bleed. Usually a bleed is about a pica or maybe like an eighth of an inch, a quarter of an inch at the most around the trim. And so I'm going to close it up here. You know, with your photos, I like that you have things organized. You have these vertical axes to organize things on. Think about bleeding your images. I think, they look a little more contemporary perhaps rather than where you can. You don't want to lop off people's faces or appendages, right? And then also this, if you can float above, whoops, logo. You can float above both image and color solid, as you have here. This is the corporate gray, I'm assuming. Be careful about really short lines and where you break. If you have an English major in your household, run it by them. Make sure that you don't have, like a two-word line break, or you end on one. So, be conscientious about where you break stuff, and then perhaps line things up. Like here, you could slide this over to align with the photograph. I think you get the idea. Stick to one way of aligning type, perhaps, all flush left or all centered. I think flush left would look more contemporary. And although while it's good to have limited your number of typefaces you've used, I think you've used pretty much one size. So think about type hierarchy and what else? Maybe contrast of scale in your typography. But you got the ingredients. Generate a lot of sketches. You can move around things, take a screenshot, and then come back to your screenshots and see, well, I like that design I came up with a half hour ago. I think I'll develop it. Sean, I think I'll probably leave it here. The only thing I would recommend is maybe doing a number of variations and consider making your images, if the resolution will support it, not only larger, but also have them bleed off the edges. I would avoid using boxes to put type in. Maybe think of some other way, and take a look at professional ads for the same types of businesses, just to see how typography and images are typically handled in that industry. So good going. I wish you the best, and I look forward to seeing you animate your ad.